How's everybody doing? If you're in the chat, say hi. I will not bite you, I promise. Hi there. Anyhow, let's turn this down a little. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show, episode 70-something, 73, I think. We are talking about guitar upgrades today and what it can mean to your tone and your DI strength, your DI signal. If you're not familiar, your DI signal is going to be the most important thing you could possibly focus on if you want to get the best tones out of your amp sim. You don't need to worry about the looks of your guitar, especially if you're on a budget. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about upgrades to your guitars today and how it can make a small upgrades can make a big difference. We're going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts. We're going to talk about some of the expectations. Okay, the expectations, example being a lot of people feel that when they take, for example, this is what I like to call my average ass Jackson. It's a very average Jackson. It's very average in all ways. It looks flashy, but it's not really flashy. It's just been a pickup whore, a pickup hua for a very long time. It has yet to find its forever set. Although, so this is a set I just put in here for now to hold the place in this, so I could still use this guitar in streams and stuff, because it was pickupless. And right now it's got a DiMarzio Evolution and a DiMarzio PAF Pro. It's a set that I actually do quite like, but I've already got it in another guitar, and I'm not overly fond of doubling that. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I'm going to be going over some different high gain bangers, crushers. Some of those stuff that's a little off the beaten path that you might not know is sweet and super good, but yet it still exists just despite us all. So if you're in the comments, if you're in the chat, say what's up, say hi. I will not bite you. And hopefully, oops, let's not open that. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. I am just going, Nils, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. I just want to make sure that all the fellas know that, hold on a sec. Make sure all the fellas know that we are on. It should be fun. Okay. Talking guitar upgrades and such. Should be fun. See my face? Should be fun. All right, guys. So we're talking about guitar upgrades, and what does that have to do with amp sims? Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? A lot, because a lot of the amp sim, the average amp sim user is most amp sim users are folks on a budget. Now, we're going to talk about some of the expectations. The things I want to erase, myths that I want to dispel, and one of those myths is that just you can take any guitar, plug it into an amp sim, and get the exact tone that you're hearing in a demo. That's not going to happen. And I don't know that a lot of people, and I don't know that enough guitar players out there really know how crucial pickups are to the quality of your tone. Now, we're going to talk about pickup upgrades today. We're going to talk about upgrades on guitars, and we're going to talk about the right guitars to do upgrades on. I saw a video today. I saw a video there. Actually from a friend of ours, a friend of the page, and it said creating a heavy metal monster out of $100 guitar. I agree, it's possible. We're going to talk about a few different things though that I think people misunderstand. A lot of people think that if you take a guitar that's worth, for example, this guitar, I think brand new. I have actually no idea how much this guitar is worth. I got it for a song and a dance from reverb.com, and I got it for a substantial discount because the guy lied about the instrument a whole bunch in his ad, and I got a big chunk of it taken off, and it left with it today. After a lot of work, this guitar plays pretty nice, but it yet to find its forever set of pickups. Now, let's just take this guitar, for example. Now, you can imagine what it's going to mean for guitars less than this. I think brand friggin' new. I want to say this guitar in US dollars was worth about $700 or $800. It came with a set of Seymour Duncans in it that I really, in retrospect, probably should have just left alone, but I didn't. Shit happens and we move on. I've used it as a pickup, pardon me, a pickup testing instrument. I've been very happy with this guitar and its capabilities of testing pickups. So I'm hoping, I'm looking for a white set, ultra high gain modern pickups because I want something different in the flock. So I want this guitar. Typically, I don't go for those high output, ultra modern pickups because I tend to use something that's a little bit lower output, and something I can boost up. So, hey, hopefully you guys are having a great day. Nils, nice to see you. Hopefully some folks from the staff are going to poke their way in. Once again, my name is Tyler. We're going to talk about guitar upgrades today. Pardon me. And we're going to talk about some different under the radar plugins that you may or may not have heard of that are still absolute crushers. Okay, folks? All right. Now, so what I don't want people to think as well is that you're going to take, say, a $5 or even let's just take a nice round number like $500. $500 is a lot of money. Okay, and we're talking about brand new. Now, if you have $500 to spend on a guitar, my advice for you is if you have $1,000 to spend on a guitar, or $500, buy used. Okay, buy used. Do not buy new because everything coming out right now in that price point, it's like the shrinkflation thing is hitting instruments pretty hard as well. They're skimping on this, they're skimping on that, they're skimping on this, they're skimping on little things. And the more you skimp on an instrument and, etc., the worse it's going to be sometimes. Sometimes it'll be made to look really nice, but then it'll just end up being, not the nicest guitar in the world. So, once again, if you're in the chat, do chime in. Have you done your own guitar upgrades? Or do you take it to a tech? Also, do you have some pickup recommendations for this average ass Jackson I have in my hand? I refuse to call it what it is. We're going to call it a DK. I refuse to call it a dinky. It's just, Jesus. Such a silly name for a series of guitar. DK. I'm going to call it a DK and that's it. But it actually just gets called the average ass Jackson. Now, if you were to take... Now we're going to talk about this because I've done a lot of this and I think I've become pretty good at it. Is taking a guitar that's used, that's got a little bit of wear on it, or it has potential, and you could potentially get like an $1,800 or $1,900 guitar for like $800 or $750. So shopping smart with your money is a good first step. Don't even bother buying the stuff like the Ibanez Geos. Don't even bother. Save up a little bit more and buy that RG. If you're insisting on buying brand new, I would say that the Ibanez RG is a time tested and true modder's paradise kind of instruments. They are just every year affordable. The wizard necks feel awesome. The frets always feel really great. The construction is always great. The quality control is always very solid at Ibanez. And I'm not endorsed. I would love to be sponsored by Ibanez. God. But generally, if you're going to buy a brand new guitar and you're on a budget, I say go for that Ibanez RG because they play nice and you can mod them to hell and back. Okay? Usually those guitars mod really well. They usually have very large control panels, routings back here. This is also huge, massive control panel. And why does that come in handy? Well, if you want to install active pickups, if there's not already a nice little battery pack or compartment, well, then you're going to have to put the battery in here, and you want something with some more room to work with, okay? And it's nice because this actually has some room in here. RGs also have a nice bit of room to work in. Death from Archive, nice to see you. So now we're getting to a point here. Now, so say you take a $500 instrument, or an instrument that's got around roughly a worth of between $500 and $1,000. It's not like a $3,000 or $4,000 instrument. Pretty much any guitar, if you modify it, you're screwing yourself over. It sucks. But the thing is, if you're buying a mid to lower end guitar, intermediate level, or even that you're brushing towards that, that $1,500 mark. I'm talking US dollars, of course. I live in Canada, so it's a different. A lot of people understand US dollars, so we'll go with that. Pardon me. So if you go, but the thing is, that you go and spend that amount of money, the second you take that guitar and walk out the door of your local music store, or you crack open the box from Thoman, or you crack open the box from Long and McQuaid, or Sweetwater, or where Musicians Front, or wherever it is that you bought the guitar from, the second that you open that guitar or walk off the property with that guitar, the second that you do that, the absolute second that you do that, the retail value of that guitar is now cut nearly in half. The second that you do that. Okay, say you've bought an Epiphone or an Ibanez for $1,000. You walk off that property, you own it for a week or a month or whatever it is. It's a used instrument now, and that is now worth about $500 to $600 at tops. Okay, now I want to make that clear. Now next, if you're going to go out and spend $200 or $300 on pickups, that's on you. You have to remember that, okay? So don't throw out the pickups, because you might sell the instrument and you're not going to get more money for it because the pickups are in it. That's what I'm getting at. So if you buy a $1,000 guitar and you put $200 pickups in it, that guitar is roughly, you're still going to be able to sell it for around $700. You know what I mean? It's not going to bring the value of the guitar way up through the stratosphere. All the upgrades in the world, I've sold so many guitars that I did lots of upgrades to. It really didn't amass the resale value that much. So just go into it understanding that you're creating an instrument for you to love and for you to really grow with, okay? And by putting new pickups in a guitar that, say, didn't come with very nice pickups, or could have come with pickups that you maybe didn't like very much, that's a big deal. So this guitar is being a factor. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to start playing. I'm going to be testing out this set in this guitar. I'm very, very familiar with the set. What they're going to do in these setups, I'm not sure. Let's find out. This is the Mercurial Audio SS11X, one of my very favorites. This thing has been one of my favorites for a long time. I'm just going to use my own IR today because I feel like it. But gives you a lot of options for IRs. This thing is really, really awesome. And I always it really bothered me because when way back in the day, Ola did a video for this. And he obviously hadn't spent a lot of time with it. And it was one of the very few plugins that I think he did a demo for where he wasn't able to get crushing tones out of this, which is really strange because he can get crushing tones out of everything. And this thing is capable of crushing. So Elmiris, I can now. Yep, good evening. I can see your messages now. You didn't email me for your free plugin. You won something, sir, and you did not connect with me. That's okay. Let me know if you still want it. I think it was a plugin from Audio, or was it Nambrini Audio that night? In any event, we're going to be going over this. This is I use this a lot for tracking. Now, when I'm tracking things, this does not have a power section, so it's very, very... Or it doesn't have a 3D cab loader, nothing. It's very low, stripped down on resources. So, which means it's very easy going when you're trying to use like as little latency as possible, and you would really just you still want to hear it while you're tracking. You're not going to go and fire up like a plugin from, something that you think of any plugin in your mind of choice that is a bit more hefty on resources, probably not going to bust that out while you're trying to record something, right? Because you're asking your computer to focus on the latency. not the resources. You're like, man, you got to choose one thing or the other. I mean, you want me doing, unless you have a super machine that can do both. But in most cases, many of us don't. If you don't, then that's going to be this is going to be more of a way to let your computer focus on that instead. Yeah, you want to plug in the other day, dude. Wow. Awesome. I'm going to just skip past this because they tried to nuke me the other day for that song. All right, so we're just chilling out, and I'm using the SS11X to start things off. I got to bring that down a bit. I mean, it doesn't really... It's going to be your choice of plugins from Nembrini Audio. So, I mean, if you have literally every Nembrini Audio plugin, if you have every single thing they have, including the brand new HK, well, I guess let me know. And then I will pass it on. But if you don't have everything from Nembrini Audio, please do choose something, and we can get you set up with something rad there. Guys, it's another company I really should have reached out to for this, but I completely forgot it was Mercurial Audio. Bummer. I forgot. Next time, we'll do something with Mercurial. As I've been friends with these guys for a really long time. Well, at least they're English-speaking, chosen English-speaking representatives of choice. Slava, their last guy, and Kirill, the new guy. Very, very, very nice people. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. And so you notice there's a boost section here where you get to choose, but you can choose a bunch of different things. I like the Greed Smasher as well. It's pretty sweet. You mean like that? Ba-dum-dum-dum-dum. Man, do I love this part. Sorry, we gotta pause. Riff break. Oh, this part's fucking awesome. I know it's not that hard. Well, it is for me, but... Man. This is, De-Christianize by Vital Remains, if you're curious. The best album that they did. They did this. I did think they did a couple albums with Glenn Benton, but this particular album was just like... The drums are sped up, though. He played it at a lower speed and sped up the recording when they recorded everything else. As far as I understand it. He can do it at that speed, but as far as I understand it, from someone that was actually in that room, so they say. Yeah, that was the deal. Is that, and I mean, I know that's been refuted over the years that Dave Suzuki didn't perform it, but yeah. Holy smokes! What? Interesting. Thomas McCrocklin in the house. How are you, sir? And we're just checking out some random plugins while we talk guitar upgrades today. And the best upgrades for you personally. Remember, when you buy a guitar, I've also heard people say, well, I don't need to upgrade anything in my guitar. I bought it. It's a example, since Thomas is with us today. I'll just say it's a Kiesel, say it's Jackson, say whatever it is that you bought it. And yeah, it's got great pickups in it. It's a great guitar. I got a great deal. It's a beautiful instrument. I'm happy for you. But just because, and I'm sure every single person in here, or the majority of us, can attest to the fact that just because you buy an instrument a certain way doesn't mean it's been customized for you personally. There may be a set of pickups out there that will destroy the set of pickups that you have in your guitar, even though the set of pickups in your guitar currently is a set of pickups that is by design premium. Now, we haven't even gotten to like the OEM. Now, Chinese made stuff is getting better and better and better and better and better. But the stigma around OEM stuff, the stuff made in the gigantic factories and thrown into giant bins, where companies that build the lowest of the lowest quality guitars can simply select from humbucker A, B, C, and D. And we want humbucker C, and they pay 30 cents for the thing, and it's made out of inferior metals and everything. Even if it says Duncan design on it, yes, it's true. That was designed by Duncan, but it was not produced by Duncan. So what they've done is they've taken a Duncan design, brought it to a Chinese factory, and then made those pickups. Are they the worst pickups in the world? Certainly not. They're definitely not. I am doing well, Thomas. I hope you're doing well as well. As we named recently, we named Nunchuck one of the plugins of the year. And thank you so much. We did a giveaway just yesterday of said plugin. And that was Caleb. It was not, although he selected Kiesel Hyperrig in the selection. So thank you so much to you and Luca for the prize donation for the wonderful month or the wonderful couple weeks we've done here. It's been a lot of fun. Getting back to the guitar situation. So with pickups, we're not even getting on the lowest of the low quality. Those are not for anyone. They make they make your lows muddy. They make your highs fizzy and ice picky and tinny, not in a good way. I know some people think that the ice picky sound is a good thing. And with good pickups, I would agree that the ice picky sound can be a very modern style of attacking that modern rhythm, 100%, but not with the really bad, not with bad pickups. With the stuff that's made overseas, it's just so bad, some of it. So when it's to the point where you can literally talk into some of these pickups. The quality of materials and design is so bad. Okay. So we're talking about when it comes to, and these companies can label it whatever they want. The second they buy these pickups, they can just label it in-house made. And now we're just going to say Chapman. Okay. And I'm not saying Chapman does this, so please just relax. I'm just saying, we'll say Chapman guitars. Now they buy a bunch of pickups from China, and then they feel free to call that the Chapman Model D Psycho Shredder if they wanted to. And it could be a nice high output. And you're like, oh, wow. Then you get it, and all it's doing is making a lot of noise. The highs aren't very nice. This is very, when you find out about pickups, then you figure out about, like DI quality, then you figure out about pickups as well. Now, when you're replacing pickups is a whole other story. We'll get into that as we go. So I've also made a return to the D tuning I've been missing so much. I've been missing my D standard lately. And I really feel like now I'm starting to lean on the new guitar I'm buying, just putting it into D standard instead of C. I don't know. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I return to work tomorrow. We are doing our final giveaway today, which is a plugin of your choice from the guitar products at Audiority. And we'd like to thank Polychrome DSP. We'd like to thank Audiority. We'd like to thank Aurora DSP. And everyone else. I know I'm missing somebody. And sorry, Nambrini Audio, of course. We'd like to thank everybody for just chipping in and giving us some cool crap to give away. Crap. I'm saying crap in a nice way. Cool crap, cool stuff, cool shit, cool gear, cool plugins, cool things to add to your toolkit are very important to me. And they really are. And it's important to us. It makes us feel good to be able to give away toolkits and things that people can use to improve their recordings. Oh, by the way, Fuse Audio Labs. Cannot forget about Ray. Thank you so much for that everything bundle. For Kyle Hunter is probably going to be, I mean, that stuff, there's no doubting. There's no possible way that everything bundle is not going to directly impact how good his mixes are in the future. There's no way. That's impossible. It's like somebody winning the McLaughlin, the Polychrome DSP Kiesel Hyper Rig, for example. You can't win that plugin and have your tone not get better. That middle amp, the carbon amp in that, is simply one of the most versatile and one of the best single amps I have heard in a plugin. Now, and as well as it's like the wooden amp, the first amp, also super rad as a clean amp. It almost sounds like it's got like this built-in pizza or something into it. It's wonderful. Love that plugin. So there are certain plugins that when you win them or when you get them or buy them or you download them for free, whatever it is, there's no way they won't help you out. It's impossible. There's no way that adding this particular toolkit is not going, like the denoiser here. One little toolkit, one little thing that I added to my toolkit saved my entire life of streaming. Saved everything. All the noise issues I have in my entire home. All absolutely nuked by this thing just because I was like, yeah, that seems interesting. I'm going to try it. Pow! Awesome. Very exciting. Now we're going to mess around with things a little bit in here. I'm going to go up with the level. Whoops, sorry folks. Just about nuked somebody there, I'm sure. This thing is all just fine by itself, so I did decide to use my own cabinet there, but let's go inside and see what they got. I'm going to be going through a few plugins today, folks, so thanks so much for joining me on a Sunday. I'm very excited to be here as per the usual. There's literally nothing wrong with hanging out and just talking gear. I might be tinkering a little bit with these pickups as we go. Hold on, I just got to read through some comments here, guys. Man, I'm glad that you guys respond really well. I've really enjoyed what Luca and Thomas are doing together at Polychrome DSP. I do feel, if I'm being honest, I do hope that... I do have hope, and I often will poke Luca about it, just every once in a while, like poke. I do poke him every now and again to work on his Solidus line and his own guitar. I really do miss his particular brand of that all Audiority Solidus series. I feel like that is a series that I think there are users and more users that I would love to see. Some of those projects explored on, especially that Ampeg. That would be unbelievable to see. But that being said, I love what he does and what Polychrome DSP does are different. It's just such a different vibe between the two companies. And I love that. I love that he didn't just go and start something completely the same. And, like, well, I'm really good at this, so I'm just going to go and do this for this other guy, but I'm going to be way under the hood, way under the radar. They won't know nobody will really know I'm there coding for this company that's doing virtually the same thing that I do over here. You guys know what I'm saying? That does actually exist. that does actually happen. So for him to be able to not only to go over there and do something completely different was really great to see. But on top of that, it was also nice to see that not that it's being done as like a very openly done as a team over there, as opposed to, you know, one person kind of being the focal point of the company and then like a coder or a programmer working kind of in the background. That's fine too. I don't mind when that happens. I like to clarify. I'm fine with that. But I like that what they're doing over there is much more of like a team atmosphere, and I like that. You know, then the ideas seem to flow, and I like that. So we're going to be moving past the SS11X now. You guys heard it. It's very cheap, super cheap. Like, I don't even know how much it is right now. It can't be more than like $30 or $40. Even when it was brand new and it first came out, it was 30, 40 bucks. Super versatile. Hang on. Super versatile. I don't want to go away with you guys thinking that this is just a crusher, because it's very much not just a crusher. So we'll go to clean, and we'll go to, I'll head over here. Interesting. There we go. Turn off the Green Smasher, and you have a nice, pretty serviceable clean tone here. Turn that up a little bit here. Let's see what we got. So the clean tone is here for days. There's also some verb in the box here. And there's a few different verbs. I gotta blend that up a bit though. So don't go away thinking that this thing is just that one-dimensional chug machine. I know I'm a little out here, guys. I'm gonna tune it up. So yeah, we're just hanging out. We're talking about a guitar upgrading and why guitar upgrades are important. I'd also like to point out that you could go and take out a loan, like we know a lot of people have, or get a credit card and put a really expensive guitar on it. Yeah, we've all fantasized about doing it. I've never actually had the opportunity, but I know a lot of people have. Get that brand new. Oh, I can spend how much on it? Yeah, okay, I'll spend $3, $4, $5 grand right on, and or more. If you're talking about like the Mayonis, how do you say that company's name? I don't know. Even Kiesel has some up their models, right? You can spend a lot of money on guitars. You really can. 10 grand on guitars if you really want to get crazy. More than that. Okay, but the thing is, it doesn't matter how much you spend. If you do not maintain that instrument properly, and you don't know when something is wrong with it, then that guitar could very easily and very quickly play like a $200 instrument very quickly. You could have the most expensive guitar. You go spend $5 grand, leave that guitar if you live in an environment that's got a lot of different temperature changes, humidity changes, and everything else. That guitar is going to flex, going to move around, going to do things. And all of a sudden you go to play it one day and everything's buzzing all over the place. That means there is something wrong. But at that particular moment, if you're not maintaining that instrument, what does it sound like? It doesn't matter how much it costs in that moment. If the neck is all out of whack, what does it sound like? It sounds like it's worth about $200. So it really doesn't matter at that point. Do the maintenance. That is a key factor. If you're playing a guitar and you're like, this guitar kind of sucks, there's always a way to maintain that guitar or set it up different or change the gauge of string. Motherfucker. I cut my hand and it has been a real serious pain in my ass. So yeah, we're talking about doing upgrades to guitars, especially like lower quality. There are ways to make even, I'm not saying low quality. My opinion is don't even upgrade those instruments. I know you can, and I know there's companies like Guyker, Guyker. There are companies like Guyker where you can actually do these really nice upgrades for really, really cheap from this Geiger company and make it look really sharp. And that's no problem. You can get that done. No problem. But I wouldn't go and spend like hip shot money and, you know, upgrade to Godot and locking tuners and all this, you know. Well, you can actually get some really affordable locking tuners at Geiger, but I'm saying don't go all the way with a low bottom quality instrument. The lowest quality instrument I would really go all the way with is like an instrument like an RG. I really feel like you can upgrade those and they will end up playing like $2,000 instruments if you put the right maintenance, you get the right setup done to it, a couple of nice pickups, change a couple other parts, and you're in business. And you'll be playing a guitar that really feels and sounds and plays and everything like it should be a very expensive guitar. So there's always ways to make sure your guitars are fun to play. All right, let's go to the comments here. Blacks and band music. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. And Myris, can you do me some low gain while we're at it? Yes, I sure can. Why don't we do that? Let's do that. I can do that. Let's check it out. Turn off the verb here. Okay, well, how do I get to... Yeah, that's the crunch, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. There, I'm at crunch. No, crunch bright. That gets nice and squishy, eh? That's pretty cool. Let's get a Marshall cabinet in there while we're at it. Man, I have a big hate on for Floyds, but I love the way they feel. I have a huge hate on for Evertunes, and there's nothing I like about them at all. I understand why people get guitars with Floyds, and I love a nice blocked Floyd. I love the feel of playing that. I like the fine tuning. I don't even mind the Allen key stuff, to be completely honest with you, as long as that motherfucker doesn't move at all. As far as the Evertunes go, I find that, like, man, I just find them so hideous. And the amount of a guitar that you have to remove to put in an Evertune is insane to me. It really is. It's absolutely bananas to me. How much you have to... It's bananas to me. If you go and look at, like, there was this guy recently that did it to an SG, and it looked so bad. There was this contraption sitting on there, and it was just this... They took a big chunk, like a hole out of the guitar for this unit. I'm like, gosh, geez. I also heard about a friend of mine who recently, not semi-recently, installed one who was just cursing its existence to the end of time. Said he would never ever install one ever again, whatever that meant. And he's not easily flustered, which is very interesting to me. All right, what are we doing next? We're going to another plugin that I recently kind of went over it. And this is Tonality Andy James. Let's go to the screen. And if this is sort of like the forgotten tonality, and I think, in my opinion, and it's a gooder. I pulled it out of there for a couple minutes the other day, and we're just chilling today, hanging out on a Sunday. Not going to do a break today. Going to do about 90 minutes. Have a good time. Trying out some pickups. Trying out some pickups in this guitar that I've never really used in this particular instrument before. It's a DiMarzio Evolution. It's one of my favorite bridge pickups ever made by a considerable margin. Really, really like that bridge pickup. I would strongly advise it for anybody that's looking for clarity and like a really crushing tone. Hold on. By the way, Ilmyrus, all you have to do is email me at theampsimuniverse at gmail.com. That was my mischievous cat getting into mischief. We have one of our animals is the most mischievous cat that's ever lived. I swear if you have a mischievous cat at home, I'll challenge you with stories on this little man, on this mischievous moose, as we like to call him around here. Likes to just push stuff out of his way, knock things over, get into everything he's not supposed to. Pedro, how are you? Sorry what I was going on with that. Elmyrus, it's theampsimuniverse at gmail.com. Theampsimuniverse at gmail.com. Let me know, and we can figure that out. The AMT is really good. It does sound great. Black Sim Band Music. We like to introduce around here. Hello, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. We do this fairly often, although I'm back to work, guys. Back to work tomorrow. So sadly going to be, I'm going to be only going to be doing a couple of these per week. They're going to be there'll be one per weekend guaranteed. And then there might be another couple during the week, but I'm genuinely going to be focused on getting a lot of pre-recorded content out there. And it's filmed just like this. It's going to look just like this. It's just going to be 10 to 20 minutes on one single plugin and product without a live chat. That's all she wrote. So in any event, I am stoked on that. I hope you guys are excited as well. But yeah, there'll be a few less of these, few less giveaways. In fact, there'll be basically no giveaways. There'll be giveaways here and there. We'll try to have some stuff per stream if we can get it out there. We want to make sure we don't do too much of that. We don't want to be one of those channels that people just follow and subscribe to or etc. just so they can get the free stuff. This thing sounds good. Superb. If at any point you'd like to change, it's pretty rad. You can kind of go like this. You go to power amp, and you change, and you turn on the power here. This is the Andy James Revenant pedal, which if you're not familiar, he did a pedal with STL Tones, and it was a very limited release. Ended up basically just being in here. It didn't really... I don't know if you can... I don't think you can still get it. In my opinion, it's like the best part of this plugin. You can do two things if you want to boost. This is the preamp, essentially. Okay, so you use it without. You can turn on the internal boost. Turn off that, or you can use the actual boost. I rather like it. Oh, I liked it before I did that. Brain Dead, how are you? Death from Archive, how are you? Nils, how are you? Ilmyrus, obviously, how are you? I agree with Evertune. The only thing I would install is a recycle bin. I used to feel the same way about Floyd's, and I still do. If they move around, I have no interest. But they invented this wonderful thing called the tremolo. And I used to have, there's sure you use shims and little things and you can block it just fine on your own without any piece of wizardry, or you can get yourself a tremolo. And they're not that expensive, although they have gone up in price. It just attaches. I'll guarantee you is there anything else out there yet for blocking tremolos? There's got to be somebody else that's done a product that not just tremolo. Anyways, it just attaches. It becomes like the springs essentially, and it sort of either lets it move or not move, and you can set it to wherever you want and then just lock it in place and it never moves. Never moves. Caleb, this sounds killer. I have Middleton and Lambert, but not this one. I have them all, and I'm very excited about all of them. And I agree that this is not the one. If I have to say it, if there's one that's not going to make the cut, it's pretty much always going to be this one for me. I don't know why. There's a lot of 5150 in here. Amp 1 is a 5150. Amp 2 is a 6505 plus. Sorry, this 5153 red channel to be more exact. But they've also given you the option to use different tube voicings, as we've mentioned before, which is pretty cool because this is kind of like having 3 amps in one, because 6L6 and EL34, those are 2 different amps right there. Actually, in its analog form, 2 different amps. So there's that. Then there's KT88, which, gosh, hey, EVH or PV. Why don't you all do a 5150 6505 with a KT88 tube section in it? That would be, can you imagine how amazing that would sound? Oof. That would make me happy. 6505 plus, red channel as well, I do believe. And you'll notice that this is all off. Why is that? Well, because you can use the power amp. Here is actually the power amp controls. Here are the power amp controls for your Revenant pedal. So now we'll go to the cabs. This is, I really do feel like there'd be something to going back to the first few tonalities and making them, giving them that new style UI. I think there's something to be said there for sure. What if we just turn the cabinet off and use our own? What's gonna go on there? Oh boy, that's kind of a bit loud there. But if I do that, if you bypass the cabs in here, you also bypass the impedance curve, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's up to you. So yeah, just letting you guys know that this exists and it's pretty rad, and it's often on sale when they have sales. Check this out. Andy James is now in 5 Finger Death Punch, which not one of my favorites at all. But in the grand scheme of things, if I had to choose between listening to 5 Finger Death Punch or mumble rap, for example, or a lot, really 90% of the other music that's out, like the pop music and stuff that's out there right now. I mean, if I'm in a situation like that, I'm choosing guitar music and metal music all day. You know what I mean? If you're gonna, I mean, I would rather be mildly content over very unhappy, if that makes any sense. And Andy James is, I watched a lot. Let's see, can I see a hands up in here for folks that have watched Andy James or grew into playing guitar with Andy James instructional videos? Because those things are pretty awesome. He's really good at what he does, guys. Very, very good at what he does. Anyhow, my name is Tyler. I'm having a great time today. I'm just doing what I do. Hanging out, jamming on some plugins. This is the Mercurial Audio U530. And this is based on the Angle, of course, the Angle E530. That is famous. So let's see what we got here. Let's put a nice tone together. This might be, again, this is a very underrated plugin. Very underrated. You have a nice chorus built in here too, where you can just blend ever so slightly, blend a little bit in. Now, a lot of people might say that these don't really need a boost. Some people think that they need a boost. You can do you. I'll do me. I'm going to put a boost in here. Oh, that is so crushing. We're going to get that sorted. Now, I do believe this is what Obscura and many other bands use. Oh, yeah, I know. Gosh, I know I got to get to it. You guys can yell at me. Just upgrade the plugin already. What do we got here, guys? For sure underrated. It's also quite old. This particular plugin predates, I believe it predates an Earl DSP and STL Tones and a number of other companies even existence. Wise, this thing has been around for a day or two and it still crushes. It grew into things. At first, a lot of people said, well, this thing uses a lot of resources. And then people were like, eventually like, oh, okay. Like it's really not that bad. It's, once your machine grows into it. I've not tried the UA native plugins yet. I've not tried. I wouldn't even know who to get in touch with over there, so it would just be me demoing the trials as I do with basically if I'm not really wanting to buy it, and if it's not a company that cares to work with somebody that's way down here, generally, I mean, it's not going to get a lot of time here, but yeah, the Marshall there looks intriguing. I'm obviously going to have to try it, although I'm going to put it to the team and see if anybody on the team has tried them yet. Pardon me. I'm going to bet that Bo has certainly, and 100% Bo has tried the Marshall. I like that. He just openly plays what he wants. Although, I will say, his first or second Kiesel signature model was that one that was like black and slime green. Oh my God, that was so nice. That guitar definitely set off the feels. Speaking of setting off the feels, I recently saw a Telecaster. I saw a particular Telecaster in Esquire. I didn't realize that Brad Paisley semi-recently put out a signature Esquire with Fender. It has a pick guard. It has a pick. Oh my gosh. Can I say this again? It has a pickup that's underneath the pick guard, which is crazy to me. It's crazy. There is a pickup that's underneath the pick guard, so it looks like there's just the one bridge pickup, but then there's this semi-high powered lipstick pickup single rail lipstick looking pickup it's bizarre. It's called the Secret Weapon. Go look it up. I'm very interested. I'm not going to buy one because they're like $2,000. That is very like Oh, that was a bad rake. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend, although yesterday I was supposed to come on here yesterday, but I did. I cut my hand, and I didn't really feel like playing a lot of guitar yesterday because it was just irritating the shit out of me. And it was just, I'm like, you know what, I can't do it. So I switched some pickups around instead. I actually, instead of going and buying the Brad Paisley set of La Brea pickups, I went and just decided, why not use this weird set of Telecaster pickups I had this weird set. I really don't fully know where they came from. One of them was made, I know what they were made by a fella on the Telecaster forum. That's all I know. He made me one pickup, and then he did a custom rewinding or something or other of the Seymour Duncan 1/4 pound Tele neck. And that's the set I have in there right now. And it sounds really good. So I think it's going to stick around for a while, and just, you know what, that other set's not important. However, this guitar is in dire need. This is definitely a temp set. This is a Floyd Space pickup, so it's not even really matching up very well to the string spacing. Not that that matters huge, but it matters to my OCD. I know it's there, so it bothers me. But if you guys have any recommendations on a set of, like, a modern set of pickups that could go in this beast and be functioning into the future, that'd be great. I'm looking at a nice white. I'd like to put a white set in here. I'm looking at a white set that is a Nazgul and Sentient, although I've heard that the Nazgul is basically just wired into this very, very mid spike. But maybe I'll let if anybody in the comments can let me know, that'd be great. You've not. Bo has not tried it. Yeah, Kiesel had Eric Lavoie. Wow, old school. Hi, how are you, man? Old school, man. If I'm not mistaken, guitar and bass plugin / Hazard user group back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, you were there back in the day. Nice to see you. If I'm not mistaken. Just reading through here, guys. Fishman Fluence classics are nice. Not sure they have the white ones. Actually, it's funny that the guitar from Meinzinger guitars that I'm about to get from Meinzinger had initially had Fishman Fluence classics in it. I just I'm just done with active pickups unless it's in a bass. I am done with active guitar pickups. I have one guitar that is wired up for Slayer, and it is wired up with an EMG 81 with the 18 volt mod, the booster, and everything else. And it's all fantastic just the way it is, and it's great. That's the only active pickup for guitar that I think I'll ever need, because I tried. I was once upon a time an EMG artist. I tried a lot of the EMG active and retroactive, and even the passive stuff that they did, and none of it was for me. None of it was really for me. The EMG Fat 55s were amazing for Doom stuff, though. Amazing for Doom. That is one set that I think I might consider repurchasing and putting in something just for Doomy type stuff, but I don't really have a guitar that I can do that with right now. But I did consider it for my old Studio Lord. I did. Still considering it for my old Studio Lord. That would be interesting. But the Fat 55s and the 81, 85, I'm not really, I don't know. The 85, even in bridge position, is kind of fun sometimes. But otherwise, I'm not really, I don't know. I tried, I think probably at this point, 8 different sets of Fishmans. And the only set of Fishmans I really, really liked was the Greg Koch Gristle Master Telecaster set. Really liked that set. The Matt Heafy set was as good as much as I liked any of those pickups. The Matt Heafy set was as far as I could get into any of those sets. Tried the Devin Townsend, didn't like it. Tried the Ryan Bruce, didn't like it. Even with the little booster on it, still didn't like it. Just something about the Fishman Fluent stuff where, like, no matter which pickup you're using, there's like this thing that follows you from all the different humbuckers. It's if you don't like one of the Fishman Fluents, if you really, really don't like it, I don't know that any of the signatures are going to save you, because I found that there was a lot of similarities in those pickups. Don't know if that makes sense to anyone. I really feel that pickups are all to our own personal preference and our own ears and our own playing styles. So it's never about telling someone you're wrong. It's just about telling someone that's not really my thing, but I'm glad you like it. And I'll definitely never get on someone for their choices in pickups. Not ever. But I definitely will get on someone for complaining about their tone if they have pickups that are not capable of doing what they want to do. Example, if you're looking for country tone, well, you're not going to use a DiMarzio Evolution. That's not going to be the first pickup you're going to choose. And if that's the pickup you have in your guitar and you're trying to do Brad Paisley, it's not going to work out. You're not going to get there. You know what I mean? You're in the wrong race with the wrong class of vehicle. In this particular guitar, I'm going for a cream. I'm definitely going for a white set. The other set that I'm really interested in is the blackened winter set with the big black bolts on it, holes, but they look nice. And I know I'm doing something with Roar Tone. I've already got 4 pickups on the go with them, and I kind of just want to get something different going on with this. So I don't know. I just want something very modern, higher output, likely. I was thinking maybe a set of deactivators, but then I don't know. I was thinking also the Pegasus and Sentient combination. I don't know. We'll see. I remember when Tommy Armstrong from EMG and I spoke. That Jim Root set took a really long time to come together. Lots of research and development, lots of R&D, and that went into that set. And I expected it to. I tested those as well, and I tested the James Hetfield set, just every set that they would send me that I could try out. Man. I just either I liked it or didn't like it, and most of them just leaned on didn't like it. I don't know. I just feel like either you're an active guy or you're a passive guy most of the time. And active, I know active players that play on passive pickups, and they're just like, man, don't like these pickups. Need my AMGs, or I need this or need that. I just get it, but that's why there are so many pickups. There are just some pickups out there that are just not right for certain jobs. I would not use an EMG 81 if I was looking for Southern Rock. Probably wouldn't be going out, but wouldn't use it. Just. Using the Mercurial Audio Tube Amp Ultra, along with the licensed Protone Dead Horse. I know I need to update it. The Protone Dead Horse Overdrive from Wavemind. And if you didn't know this came out, man, you do now. I would go and check it out because they've left you with a bunch of different skins. This is the one that I had, so it's kind of fun, but I've been stuck on this one lately because it just looks so much fun. This is a great skin. And there's 2 other pedals to the series that are out now, and you may be able to get more in the future if these ones do really well. So if you're interested, head over and check them out. There's also the Monster Fuzz, and the Gary Holt Mid Boost is also there, but it is just called the Core Mid Boost, as it is not branded with Gary Holt. I believe, if anything, I think Gary Holt would be doing a. If he was going to do a plugin, I think he would, because he's got the association already with STL tones. That would be sick. Tonality Gary Holt. Oof, man, that would just take my fucking money. Take my money. The Railhammer? I've got that set for you still. If you still want it. It's kind of, like I said though, it's a low gain jazzy set that's kind of just 2 neck pickups that have been put together in a set. So if you still want that set, I still have that set. But the rail hammers, I have a different set of rail hammers that's going into. I'm going to try them, and they're going to be the first pickups I put in my baritone that's coming in soon. I'm going to try them out. We're going to see how it goes. I don't have the highest of hopes, but we'll see. Yes, they're passive. The Railhammer pickups are awesome, by the way, guys. Check out Railhammer pickups. Superb stuff. I'm very interested. I'm really, really going to be picky with the set of guitars. The set of pickups I put in my baritone. Because this 30-inch baritone, I really wanted to be able to do djenty type stuff. But I also wanted to be able to do doomy type stuff. So that's going to be tough to get after. It's going to be really tough to get after. We'll see. I'm going to attempt using a set from Railhammer that is half anvil, part anvil rather, and part Nuevo 90. Part Nuevo 90. But we'll see how it goes. Elmyrus, if you would prefer, you can also choose something from something from Audiority. Nope, doesn't bother me at all. Or something from Aurora DSP. We have a bunch of sponsors that have reached out and just said, hey, make sure people get what they need. And if there's ever nothing from Nembrini, I will definitely pick somebody else for that. But nonetheless, if you're paying it forward, we have the ability to pay it forward as well. So let's go here. You still have Braindead in the house? If Braindead's still in the house, Braindead, you're going to win yourself a prize from Nembrini Audio. We're going to get rid of the U530 now. See you later, U530. That is also very affordable. You can get it right freaking now. I had bypassed the cab section today, but it's all red wires. So all of their cabinets, cab sections are very, very high quality. And Braindead, my email address. Make sure you just fire me over an email. And was it you that was saying that you were missing a prize from one of the last? Was it you that was missing a prize from the last draw? If it is, just let me know. We can square that up too. Yep. Nils Rollback. Nice to see you're here as well. The real Chachko. No, the real Chacho. The real Chacho. I like that. As in, there's like that implies the existence of a fake Chacho. Are we to be on the lookout for the fake Chacho? Because if that's the case, I will be ready for the fake Chacho when he rolls through. Then it's going to be weird. If he throws through, then all of a sudden you're going to have to become the real official Chacho. I don't know if that's going to work for me. That's a lot to say. We're going to have to come up with some sort of short form. It's going to go to hell. It was you. Okay, cool. Email me. We'll get all that squared up, buddy. The MCMUniverse at gmail.com. You've already got emails from me and stuff, so we'll work that out. Ilmyrus. I did not say polychrome, as I was only given one single thing from polychrome. So if there's something else from, if there's something else from any of these said developers, or pay it forward, and maybe we'll just work it out in the future with something cool. Or, you know what? How about something from Wavemind? You can throw something in from Wavemind as well. I completely forgot they're one of our sponsors for the month, and I completely forgot to thank Wavemind and Chris and Wavemind. It's been a lot of fun working with that company on various projects. There'll be a lot coming out from Wavemind in 2025. So yeah. Elmiris, how about a license for Wavemind Tone Suite Distant? That thing crushes. Absolutely. Just let me know. You just have to email me, and we'll definitely sort something out. I like when people pass things on. That's nice. There are many fakes. You're the real deal. You know what it reminds me of? If you've seen that movie Orgasmo, there's a character named Sancho. There are many Jeffs in the world, many Thumbs as well. But I am Sancho. That was gross. Came out my nose. If you haven't seen Orgasmo, you really need to watch that movie. It was the Trey Parker, the guys from South Park prior to South Park, and it was, man, one of the funniest movies you're ever gonna see. It's one of the funniest movies you'll ever see, I promise. It's stupid, absolutely one of the dumbest movies you're ever gonna see as well, but gosh, is it ever funny. It's the story of a Mormon guy, and the Mormon guy, he finds himself in a bit of a pickle when he moves out to California. So yeah, you gotta go check it out. Sorry. It just came out of there. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, Wavemind does rule, and you know what? They had a great year this year, and gosh, just wait. I wish I could just spill all the beans of everything that I know is about to come out, but there'd be a lot of people that would be really mad at me, and then no one would ever tell me anything again. So, I don't want to do that. I like to toe the line, though. I like to toe that line. I like to ask developers, like, how close can I come to telling people what's coming? Like, if this is what's coming, how close can I tiptoe to what's coming up? And then oftentimes we'll have those conversations. Yeah, you tell them about this or tell them about that. And it's just a lot of fun to have that information and be able to test stuff out in advance and stuff. And it's been a great time. So yeah, U530, very affordable. We're going to get rid of the U530. See you later. How long have we been on for, folks? I wish I could spill, man. The only thing I can spill from Wavemind has already been spilled. Yeah, it's already been spilled. The first Tone Suite artist in another stream, the next Tone Suite artist after Distant was spilled in a different stream. And yeah, I can't tell you anything else. All I can tell you is that I'm fanboying the fuck out. Because I'm actually, in this exact moment, I am working with one of my favorite guitar players in the history of the instrument on a signature product. And it makes me giggle and grin every time I get to exchange an email. But I have to be professional, and I can't seem like, I I'm, meeting, I don't even know what, meeting the, what? Who's the it person these days? We'll just say I can't be acting like a 50-year-old woman meeting Motley Crue, Can't do it. 74 minutes. Nice. Awesome. So yeah, this is the MLC. This came out not in 2024. This was going to be my guess as when it came out. I also have the Angle Savage from Brainworks available today in the stream, but I think I'm just gonna play around a little bit more with this and just have a little bit of fun with this while I'm on the stream. I'm having a great day today, having a lazy day today. I was actually gonna take a nap. Why do we care about this? I was about to take a nap, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, let's go do a stream. Let's go do a stream and let's have a good time, because I just wasn't having those feels today, folks. This is the MLC Sub-Zero from Brogren Digital, and this thing just absolutely slays. Let's see what we got here. Whoa, what happened there? Oh, I see what happened there. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I've had the opportunity to, guys, honestly, I have worked in a lot of situations with a lot of bands on a lot of different signature products, and it's always been fun. It's always fun to be that go-between between an artist and a developer in a lot of cases, or just setting it up and letting the developer and the artist take care of the work, or whatever it is that I'm doing. It's been a blast. But in this particular situation, this artist is somebody that I've been wanting to do. I initially reached out to this artist a long time back about doing a signature plugin with a different developer. That particular developer ended up changing some of the focus on a few things, and then the signature plugins were sort of off the table. And then I kept in touch with this artist over the course of things, just, sparingly. And then when this opportunity came up with WaveMind, I just was like, man, I have the perfect person for a signature plugin. And Chris was like, who is it? And I said the name, and he's just like, shut the front fucking door. Are you kidding? I said, yeah, no, we can do that. And then we're doing it right now. Really excited, guys. And it's one of those things where I just have to I have to just do a bit of a dance once in a while just to make sure I'm alive on the inside, and it does feel really great. Can I repeat the spillage? I don't have spillage. I can't do it. Move this. Yeah, that sounds pretty tough. Go away. I like this amp sim a lot, guys, and you guys know that. It still flies under the radar. And it flies under the radar in a couple ways. Number one, I don't feel like it's out there enough. I don't hear enough people still just like glowing about this plugin, but because it's really, really good. But I also don't hear enough people kind of saluting it for everything else it can do apart from metal. Remember, this is a rock amp. It really is. It's a heavily modified Marshall in the guts, essentially. And there are two different versions of the amp, one with the L34s and one with 6 L6s. So essentially, they've given you two different amps here, which is nice. Appreciated. And that's why it's so crazy. I still had the Dead Horse on. I was like, why is it so crazy overboosted right now? This happens sometimes. That's more like it. I was like, wow, that thing sounds, it's just so bright. David Monsosa, how are you? No habla, my friend. No habla español, I assume. Let me guess then, it's Taylor Swift. No, man, if you put me on board, I'm well past the point in my life where I'm afraid to sell out. if I had the chance to do anything with Taylor Swift regarding a software product, I would sell. I'd give it all up tomorrow for just 2% of that sale. 2% of that deal for setting it up. No problem. I don't even know what it would be. It would be an amp sim. I don't know what kind of amp sim it would be, but it would be an amp sim. Let's do it. Tone Sweet, Taylor Swift, coming at you. I don't really like the way that this the evolution sounds in this this guitar here. Not the biggest fan. I'm definitely not shredding, Mr. Moonshine. As far as the ETA on this next Tone Suite, I'm not sure. Currently, I can tell you where we're at. All the gear has been decided, and fuck, this song rips. All the gear's been decided, and the looks are being chosen. The various nuances of how things look and everything else, and yeah, things are being chosen. Things are being worked on sparingly and slowly. I'm usually a couple months from start to finish are these plugins. 2-3 months depending. We'll see. I have no idea. I know that WaveMind is also on top of something else. A few other things. One thing I can't talk about obviously is our plugin is coming out in we're hoping January, if not very early February, is going to be the upgrades to the free version of NAMM Universal, and there's also going to be another version of NAMM Universal coming out, NAMM Universal Plus, which is going to be in the ballpark of $30 to $40 US, but it's also going to come with multi-panels and a lot more going on and completely different UI. You guys will be the judge. Is it worth the upgrade? But we just could not do it for free just because there's so much work and so much stuff going in that we're just like, gosh, we got to charge something for it. And so here we are, just basically paying the costs of graphics and labor and such. And yeah, hopefully you guys dig it. And yeah. A lot of little hearts. Wow, we went from like, wow, holy smokes. We went from like almost 20 people to 7, like that. How's it going, Freyskin? Guys, I'm about to jump on out of here. It was supposed to be a bit of a shorty today, but before we get out of here, basically when it comes to modifying a guitar, you really want to make sure that if it's a lower quality guitar, we're talking something that you're paying $200 or, let's say sub $500. If it's very, very cheap, sub $500, I would go to a place called Geiker. Guyker, Geiker. And that is the place that you're going to want to do all your replacing. You can still get a set of pickups, but I would advise that for something on under, sub $500, don't buy brand new pickups. I would even go as far as to buy used pickups, and the used pickup market on eBay and Reverb, etc., is pretty crazy. Even your local marketplace might have some, depending on if you've got gearheads in your area. So it's pretty awesome to have. That's what I would do with below $500. 500 up, there's a lot you can do with that. You can start getting higher quality parts and things of that sort, because the construction of the instrument is going to be of a higher quality. And less affected by weather and, durability and things of that sort, right? So if you get like an RG, as I've mentioned several times, most key companies have their RG line guitar. Now, if I was given the choice between RGs and say the Jackson JS line, I'm going to go RG every day, every step of the week. Okay, guys? We'll talk more about guitar modifications. Just don't go into it with the thought that it's going to increase the value of your instrument. It increases the value and usefulness to you, but when you sell it, we all know that guy that spent $1,000 on a guitar, put EMGs in it, and then tried to sell it for, $1,300. That's just not the way the world works, unfortunately. So and then when it comes to an really, really expensive guitar, the second you put a screwdriver on it and start taking things apart, the value actually goes down as opposed to holding where it would if you spent that kind of money on a guitar. It's kind of weird like that. So if you're going to modify a guitar, I would advise getting yourself the first guitar that you want to try to modify on is something like an RG. Go to your local marketplace. You should be able to find one for under $500 and be able to put some cool parts on it, learn how to modify. And if you're learning how to do really tougher work like wiring and things of that sort, go out to your local marketplace and find a junk guitar. Okay, find a really, really cheap shit box that you can practice on where it does not matter if it sounds good or not. The whole goal of this guitar is if you're gonna fuck up, and you will fuck up when you're learning, is to learn on what I call a dummy guitar or practice guitar. Okay, they are everywhere, all over local marketplaces. First Act, Washburn, the lowest end of Washburn. There's a billion of them on Amazon now with all different names. Just find one of those on your local marketplace, something that's maybe not even functional right now. And you can practice fretwork. And if you screw up and drag a file across there by accident, it won't matter because it's fucked up anyway. It doesn't have to make sense. You're just practicing on it. You're going to flip it over. You're going to crack open that routing. You're going to practice soldering wires on and off those pots. It doesn't matter if it really works. Okay, it matters if you plug it in and you can hear both pickups, and that's fine. It doesn't matter if you can play this guitar necessarily. You're just using it for technical stuff and learning how things come apart, learning how to, splice things and how things go through, and if shielding and how grounding works and everything else. This is all kind of base level stuff for a lot of us. But when you're learning how to modify a guitar, do it yourself. That's the other thing. You can really get expenses if you're trying to modify a sub $500 instrument and you're taking it to a tech. Every time you want something done to it, that's $40, that's $50, that's $100, that's $40, $50, it's $100. Before you know it, you spent a lot of money on this instrument, when really this little search bar that's up above me is full of people that are way smarter than me, more charismatic, way better looking, and have more information on the subject of modifying guitars. Every step of the way, there's going to be a professional available in that search bar that's going to be able to teach you how to do every single step of the way. You won't have to do like I did and learn from someone over their shoulder that probably didn't even necessarily want you there. But you're gonna have to learn and do the work yourself. It makes it more rewarding. But find that practice guitar first, something that real shitbox that you can maybe even make into a playable instrument. Who knows? All right, guys. So that's going to be my challenge for you. Another really key, guys, there's so many little small tips that I can tell you guys that have little things that will help you and things that I made mistakes with. One of those things is soldering irons. If you're going to buy a soldering iron, I repeat, do not buy the lowest in the bargain basement pile of garbage soldering iron. Buy like a Weller or a higher rated unit with multi-temperatures. There are certain things in fixing and modifying guitars where you just want to buy something of decent quality instead of trying to skimp and end up just having this, you waste all this money and eventually you end up at this step anyway because none of this stuff worked. Fret files, nut files, soldering units. These are three things that you cannot cheap out on. Okay, guys? Just trust me on that one. There's no way to cheap out on fret files. There's no way to cheap out on nut files. And there's no real way to cheap out on a soldering unit that works and doesn't just bake the pots and hurt your fingers. Okay, guys? So learn from my mistakes. And I will definitely see you guys next time. And this is something that we focus on. And this is part of the Amp Sim universe. Okay, guys, is making sure that your pickups and your guitar is as good as it can sound, because these amp sims were not designed to turn turds into magic and magic gold. If your guitar is giving it crap, it's going to give you crap, right? These are not miracle workers. Okay, so let's work together to make sure that we all have great DI signals together and make sure all of our amp sims can perform at the height of their abilities. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much, Ton Guitarra. Thank you so much, Mesorecto. Everybody else, make sure to email me for your prizes. We'll get you something worked out. And that's the end, guys. That's the end of our holiday. We did it. The end of our holiday stream miss. I only missed a couple of days in there, but man, I had a lot of fun with you guys. Remember, we're going back to a regular stream schedule. If you're gonna see me on weekdays, it's going to be around 4:30. So if you look around, if you're curious and you see me pop around 4:30, it may happen occasionally. But I really do want to get down to work, down to business, working on this pre-recorded stuff with my time after work so that I can get more stuff up there for you guys, more stuff that's going to help us grow in the future. All right, guys, thank you so much again for the support. Thank you for watching me and listening to me ramble on about things that matter to only a few, but I'm glad that they matter to you guys. Cheers.